And welcome, sports fans, to today's roundtable, and glad you joined us for this spring Saturday here on April 12th. And we're going to get into some spring sports results here momentarily, and we've got some other news from the area to report on as well. And as I again said, glad you joined us here on this Saturday morning. And as you see there at the graphic, we're going to make the show more interactive to our viewers out there. So as you see there, the Facebook and the Twitter Twitter addresses, you can get involved with our show. As you see there, the hashtag roundtable on Twitter will get engaged with all of our viewers out there. If you want to send a shout out to the show or comment on any of the topics that we're discussing, you can use that hashtag roundtable on Twitter. And also we've got our Facebook page you can stay involved with on both CMO Sports Zone and YHC TV. And also we've got CMO Sports Talk on that's our forum on CMOSportZone.com as well. So we're going to make the show more interactive as we get into this spring season, and you can get involved in our show here on the Sports Roundtable live on CMOSportZone.com and YHC TV. So there you go. We'll get you involved in our show going forward here on the Roundtable. And let's take a look at some spring sports results that took place over the last few days here in our area, and take a look at some high school baseball. It took place over the last day. Scott County Central defeated Richland in a rout 14-4. And in other games we have Chaffee over Puxico 8-6, and Chaffee still undefeated in their season so far, and the top-ranked team in the state in Class 1, which we'll get to those baseball state rankings in our next segment. So we'll be touching on the best teams across the state of Missouri coming up. And also we have Oran over Oak Ridge 13-3. No problem for the Oran Eagles. Also we have Bernie over Advance 9-2. Advance over Leopold 4-0. Dexter over Scott City in a shutout 12-0. Clearwater over Bernie 8-5. Bernie over Woodland 23-3 in the Stoddard County Conference. And also we have Bloomfield over Richland, big 29-3, also in the Stoddard County Conference. Leopold over Dexter in high school softball in a close one, 7-6. And also we have Advance over Leopold 10-0. And Kennett over Campbell 20-1. And those are your spring sports results in high school baseball and softball over the last few days, and we'll keep you updated on all the spring sports results here in our area in southeast Missouri and northeast Arkansas. And Piggott had a few games rained out this past week, so we don't have a whole lot to report on them for this week, and a lot of games got moved up or canceled from this week, so we'll be looking forward to more spring sports results going forward. And be sure to tune in right here on the Roundtable each Saturday to get the lowdown and local sports information news. So we'll have it all for you right here on the Roundtable. And we've got some Missouri baseball state rankings to discuss, and we'll be back with those coming up.
Welcome to NFL Total Access,
the show that takes you inside the locker room and down on the field. With inside access to all 32 teams all year long. NFL Total Access, Monday through Saturday, only on NFL Network.
NFL Network, where football season never ends.
I chose Three Rivers College. Caring staff made it easy to enroll. I'm receiving affordable, quality college classes. Day, evening, and online classes let me work college into my schedule.
With locations throughout Southeast Missouri and over 200 course offerings, including online courses, Three Rivers can help you earn a college or career technical degree.
I chose Three Rivers College. You should too.
Enroll today. Learn more at trcc.edu. Three Rivers College. Success starts here.
First Midwest Bank Gold Club offers special privileges for our friends who are age 50 or better and have combined deposits of $5,000. Members enjoy trips, cruises, seminars, and picnics along with free personalized bank services. Upcoming trips include Journey Through the Holy Land, Yellowstone in winter, Classic Ireland, and Hawaiian Paradise Cruise. Stop by any First Midwest Bank location to sign up for the Gold Club. It's absolutely free. First Midwest Bank, providing common sense financial solutions every day.
And now let's take a look at those Missouri baseball state rankings. And these are a little over a week old for the baseball rankings. And in Class 1, it's New Franklin at number 1, 2 Oran, 3 Dadeville, 4 Santa Fe, 5 Cairo, 6 Atlanta, 7 Sturgeon, 8 Lakeland, 9 Leopold, and 10 Stoutland. So we got a few teams there. And the top 10 from Southeast Missouri in Class 1, it's Oran and Leopold. They're in that top 10. And I misspoke earlier on. I said Chaffee was the number 1 ranked team in Class 1. Actually, it's Class 2, as the Chaffee Red Devils remain unbeaten so far this year, number 1 in the state. 2, Hartville. 3, Valley Catholic. 4, Neelyville. 5, Holcomb. 6, East Carter County. 7, Skyline, a two-way tie for 7th, Skyline and Iberia. 9 Billings, and 10 Spokane. And Chaffee right there at number 1. Valley Catholic up there in St. Genevieve up there at number 3. And you got Neelyville and Holcomb back-to-back there at 4 and 5. And Neelyville defeated Holcomb. I believe that was earlier this week. And I think that was just a 1-0 game. And that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out later on in potential district and state tournament play between there Neelyville and Holcomb. And Holcomb made it out to the state Final Four last year in high school baseball. So Holcomb Hornets and the Neelyville Tigers starting to brew up a rivalry there in Class 2. Now in Class 3, Springfield Catholic at number 1 and the defending Class 3 state champions. 2, Forsyth. 3, Cuba. 4, Centralia. 5, Palmyra. 6, Mountain Grove. 7, Christian of O'Fallon. 8, Conway. 9, Lutheran of St. Peter's. And 10, Macon. And in Class 4, Westminster Christian at number 1, 2, Notre Dame out of Cape Girardeau, 3, Sykeston, a two-way tie, Sykeston and Lutheran South, 5, Savannah, 6, Logan Rogersville, 7, Smithville, 8, Marshfield, 9, Nevada, and 10, Park Hills Central. So Cape Notre Dame and Sykeston there in the top 5 here from Southeast Missouri. And in Class 5, Blue Springs South at number 1, 2, Christian Brothers College, CBC, 3, Francis Howell, 4, Rockhurst, 5, Vianney, 6, Liberty North, 7, Parkway South, 8, Rock Bridge, 9, Neosho, and 10, Lee's Summit West. And those are your Class 5, or Classes 1 through 5 baseball state rankings for this week. And we're going to take a break and be back with some more local sports news to report on, and we'll be back with that coming up.
It's the small things in life that you tend to appreciate. The quality of care at SEMO Health Network is no different. They focus on the small details with healthcare that make you feel good, so you can get back to enjoying the small things in no time. They have so many ways to take care of you with 8 locations serving rural communities in need of medical care, including dental facilities and an in-house laboratory.
You'll feel good about this. SEMO Health Network.
What is your emergency? Need assistance at County Road 61 and Highway 9. Help is on its way.
Clear! There's a better way to jumpstart your soil back to health. Apply Endzone to protect and increase nitrogen efficiency without killing bacteria. Apply Prevent to increase phosphorus availability and reduce fixation. Better yet, use them both to get more from your fertilizer investment and see higher potential yields. Ag Explorer, your prescription for healthy soil.
And we've got some local news to report on here locally, and some big news in boys basketball as Sykeston's boys basketball coach Greg Hollyfield has been inducted into the Missouri Basketball Hall of Fame, and that induction ceremony will be taking place later on this spring. I think it's April 26th, that induction ceremony for Greg Hollifield entering to the Missouri Basketball Hall of Fame, voted in by the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association. So Greg Hollifield of Sikeston joins some very good company there in the Missouri Basketball Hall of Fame. There's some area coaches I can think of for sure that are in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Jim Bywood of Portageville was inducted previously. Also, Lennis McFerrin, former coach of Charleston and New Madrid County Central. Ronnie Cookson inducted from Scott County Central. And there might be a few others I might be overlooking, but those are 3 coaches for sure. Coaches from Southeast Missouri in that Missouri Basketball Hall of Fame. So Greg Hollifield, very deserving. Been a long-time coach throughout Southeast Missouri. Coached at Seaton Hornersville early in his career, and then Kennett, and really making his name there in Sikeston over the past decade, more than decade. He's been there at Sikeston, and including that the one sole state championship team he coached from back in 2011, just a few years ago. Undefeated season, 30-0. That 2011 state championship team just a few years ago, and there's only a few handful of coaches that can claim an undefeated season, even though, as I mentioned, Jim Bywell can, Lennis McFerrin can, and I'm sure Ronnie Cookson had an undefeated season in there as well. But especially at the Class 4 level, Lennis McFerrin got his at Class 3, Jim Bywell at Portageville at Class 2, Ronnie Cookson at Class 1, but at that Class 4 level, certainly playing at a very high competitive level in high school basketball and winning a state championship, not only a state championship, but going undefeated at that Class 4 level, certainly very, very good accomplishment for a coach like Greg Hollifield. So we congratulate Greg Hollifield on his being inducted into the Missouri Basketball Hall of Fame. Very deserving for Coach Greg Hollifield. And also, we're getting some feedback here on Twitter this morning, and we got a tweet about the Clarkton head coaching position, and it has been reported that Dustin Ferguson will be heading to Hayti next season for their head basketball position. And Dustin Ferguson, first-year coach at Clarkton this past year, won the district championship over the Risco Tigers in that Class 1 District 1 championship this year. Lost in the sectional round to Scott County Central, but a very fine season for the Clarkton Reindeer. He has decided to take the Hayti boys basketball coach, it's been reported, for next season. And Philip Taylor has been the coach there at Hayti for quite a few years. Will not be the coach next year. Dustin Ferguson reportedly will be taking over that position next season. So we'll be seeing some coaching changes, as there always is, year in and year out. That's one thing you can expect as a constant. Some coaching changes in high school sports, especially basketball. See a lot of musical chairs, I guess you would call it, when it comes to the coaching scene in high school basketball. So we'll be probably coming upon those changes this month. A lot of the staffing changes are done for the next school year in April at these school board meetings, so we'll be seeing probably quite a few role changes on the coaching scene this month as those school board meetings take place. And as you see there on your screen there, you can stay engaged with us on Twitter at the hashtag Roundtable, and you can get involved in our show. We'll keep an eye on Twitter from here on the show, and as we got some feedback there, and you can get involved as well at the hashtag Roundtable on Twitter, and you can also get on our Facebook page online as well. So get on and use that hashtag, and we'll get you involved in our show here on the Sports Roundtable. And we're going to take a quick break and be back with some more to report on. That's coming up.
Okay, you're hooked up and ready to go? New Wave knows you're excited about sports, so now's a great time to get connected with the Triple Play package. Crystal clear TV, high-speed internet, and telephone for only $99.99 a month for 12 months. With New Wave Communications, you've got game. In addition to unlimited calling, New Wave telephone users have a wide range of great phone features available. And now with the help of New Wave Internet, they're even easier to use thanks to our convenient online phone manager. Just log on to your MyWave portal. Now phone features like call forwarding can be set up instantly from any computer. Reliably activate or deactivate your call forwarding. And even set your home phone to ring once when a call is forwarded. Home telephone service made even better with New Wave Communications. Call today.
And we're back, and we're going to take a look at some Cardinals baseball. And Cardinals aren't doing the greatest here early on in the season. Currently 5-5 on the year. Took a loss to the Cubs yesterday, and that was Friday. And pretty sizable loss there on Friday, I believe. And yeah, it was 6-3. And back in action against the Cubs later on today, Saturday, at 1:15 this afternoon, and Sunday's game will be at 1:15 as well. And the start of next week, Monday, we got a series with the Brewers, and the Brewers are leading the National League Central currently at 8-2. Got off to a very good start. The return of Ryan Braun certainly helped for the Milwaukee Brewers, as the Cardinals are 3 games back of that division lead. They're in the National League Central, so the bats have been quite silent for the Cardinals so far this year. They've really had a hard time producing runs, and they've suffered a few blowouts as well. Pitching not all the way there, but certainly with that lineup, you would think that the run production wouldn't be a problem, but it certainly has been here early on. So the Cardinals can come around and get everything in sync, especially the pitching and the hitting. Get it all on one page. It's just a little rocky start for the Cardinals at 5-5. I mean, it's 500 ball, but certainly, hopefully, they can get things worked out going forward. And you certainly don't want to lose a series to the Cubs. That's those are supposed to be gimme series. They're supposed to take 2 out of 3 pretty much in your sleep as you take on the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs 4-6 on the year, and going back into action this weekend with those Chicago Cubs there at Busch Stadium. So hopefully we'll see a little better performance out of the Cardinals going forward. So we'll see how that plays out for this weekend. And not a whole lot going on other than that. We wrapped up the college basketball season last Monday, as the Final Four ended Monday. And UConn coming away with that national championship, and it's their 4th national championship in men's basketball program history, and a very good showing by the UConn Huskies as a 7 seed, played an 8 seed, the Kentucky Wildcats, but certainly the Kentucky Wildcats were the favorite coming into the season, number 1 preseason ranked. So an 8 seed Kentucky Wildcats making the championship game, not really considered a Cinderella run. They had a little rocky season there towards the middle of the season, but with 5 freshmen pretty much dominating your lineup, going to have some ups and downs throughout the season, but certainly played well throughout the tournament, and just come up a little short in the end. Just couldn't really get any baskets to fall in the last minutes of the game, and UConn certainly had a Cinderella run as a number 7 seed, and I believe that championship game, the 8 seed Kentucky and 7 seed UConn was the highest combining seeds with the 2 teams in the championship's history. So a very good run for the UConn Huskies. And of course, the next night, the women's team dominated in a national championship game against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and both teams were undefeated, but you wouldn't tell it as the result would come away 79-58. UConn Lady Huskies dominated the Notre Dame Fighting Irish women's basketball team by 21 points. So really no contest in that one. And for the second time in the program's history and NCAA history, one school wins both the women's and men's titles in one season. Happened back in 2004 and happened once again this year, a decade later. So that's twice now the UConn basketball teams sweep the national championships, and probably won't ever be duplicated. I doubt it, unless they win for a third time, which is possible going forward. So very unlikely we'll ever see one other school do that, and UConn's already done it twice, so we probably won't ever see that duplicated twice in college basketball. So a nice little story for this basketball season. And the NBA playoffs will be getting started probably next weekend. I think those get started. The last few games of the season takes place this week, so we'll be starting to wrap up the basketball season altogether as the NBA playoffs start this next weekend, going and ending up in June. So basketball season as a whole coming to an end, getting underway with the spring and summer sports, especially with the baseball and softball and others. So a lot to look forward to going forward with the spring and summer sports. And here on the roundtable, we're going to keep our show going for the next month. We'll be ending, we don't exactly have a last show in mind, but it will be probably the second to third week of May, pretty much when the school season ends. Our season ends here on the roundtable. We take the summer off and come back in the fall. So we've got just probably a month or so left, probably 4 shows left in our roundtable season. So we'll be wrapping it up here in the next month and taking the summer off. So coming down to the end of the sports season here for 2013 and 2014. And that's pretty much all we've got for your sports for today for the roundtable, and we appreciate you for tuning in as always. Look forward to having you back next weekend. We're going to look to have some guests in for next week's shows. And until then, I'm Tyler Wagner. Have yourself a great week.